The massacre was only the beginning. Who did this to us? Who attacked the tribe?
All we can do is pray to the goddess.
No. Praying won't save us. We have to find the killers.
So you will have to leave the sacred land.
Where the trail leads, I will go.
Aloy of the Nora, what brings you to Meridian?
There's a threat to us all. Men in masks, raising up ancient machines. And I've seen their leader.
From the depths, I will raise an army. A storm of shadows to take back what's ours. What's it doing to them?
Taking control. You can see the corruption coming off them like smoke.
You've come a long way since the Citadel, Aloy.
Who are you?
An interested party.
Braves, to Aloy's side, now! So it comes to this.
What is it?
The end. Or how it begins, anyway.
Alright gamers, geeks, and other delinquents from the outer realms, it's time for the Gamers in Beta podcast with Captain Mike M.
That is a travesty of the highest order I've ever fucking seen one.
Featuring assorted co-hosts, J Maniac 17.
What the fuck was that all about?
Corey Atwood.
It's not my fault you guys all have shitty taste.
Sean Quicksilver 3355.
Well, maybe you should look it up.
And Joe State.
That game sucks, dude.
So I hit a new low today, guys. A new depth of laziness.
Uh-oh. Oh, you said a new load.
Well, you're in my train of thought right now, Joe.
Oh,
So we all have pets, right? Well, I think everybody except Sean. You don't have a pet, do you?
I don't know.
Nope,
I
do
don't
not.
know if I like where this is going.
I do not like where this is going.
So I think like shortly after Thanksgiving, I stopped cleaning up the backyard. It was too cold. I started working. Right? So it's been just piling and building up there. And then we got close to 2 feet of snow. So it was all packed down. It was all like, it was all hidden. So it was like, out of sight, out of mind. And then we got that spike of warm weather last week. It was in like high of like 73.
Yeah.
And so all the snow has melted. And now my backyard is a plethora of dog shit.
No.
It is just a mountain of crap. And I don't have the time to go out there and scoop it all up and keep an eye on my son and make sure he doesn't step in it. Any free time that I have, he is with me. And I can't just leave him in the house because we saw how that went. He broke his collarbone, left alone after 5 minutes. So I hired someone to come and clean up my backyard to pick up all the poop.
Like an official dog pooper picker-upper?
Yes.
Really? Those exist?
Those exist.
Really? I figured you just used a snowblower and put it in the neighbor's yard.
Then I'd have no lawn. What are you talking about?
Not if you said it right.
So like a fecal matter collector?
Oh, that would be awesome.
Dog poop removal, right?
Dog poop.
So duty calls.
Oh.
I mean, if you ask me, to him, fecal matters.
So I'm not sure how much that's worth to you guys, but for $50, I'll pay you to pick it up.
$50.
Totally worth it.
That had to be a lot of dog shit in the backyard. 50
I told
bucks.
you since the end of
Have you seen his dogs? That's a lot of shit.
Well, all right. So I guess if we're on the topic, so I was walking around playing Pokemon Go while I was taking my stupid ass dog out.
Pokemon.
And while you're playing Pokemon Go, you're spending a lot of time staring at your screen. And I put my heel right into like a lone turd on the walkway because I wasn't paying attention, and it ended up like making me slide out, and I almost fell and busted my ass into the dew.
Was it his or someone else's?
It was someone else's. It was like it was not my dog's. My dog's is really small, so really offended that somebody let their dog just deuce in the path.
Just deuce. So Corey, you really seem upset that $50. That seems like way over. You have a dog, don't you?
Yeah, and my dog shits like literally like 3 to 4 times a day. We take him on a walk around the block, and it's less than a mile, and he shit 3 times in that walk before. Like it's not crazy for him to do that, but $50 to clean up some poop, man. Wow. I assume that must have been a lot of poop.
I had in my brain that maybe it was gonna be like somewhere between like 75 and 100. And who the hell wants to who the hell wants to pick up poop? I figured there's like a surcharge for that, you know? $50, the guy said. I was fucking sold.
I'm just glad,
shit charge.
I'm glad that it was poop, because you're like, well, speaking of loads, I got a story, and then your dog got involved, and then the backyard got involved. So it took a turn back into the poop openings that we've been so into lately.
Yeah, well, let's turn to episode 191, gentlemen. Welcome to episode 191 of the Gamers in Beta podcast. This is Captain Mike M. And by the sounds of everybody, we have everybody here. We are. Mm-hmm. This is for D. Rogers. We are fully erect. All 5 of us are here.
The endowment slider is all the way over.
You guys are crude.
It's been a hot minute since you've been on, Joe. What have you been up to?
Oh, man. Let me tell you, it's been crazy over here. eBay came to my house, like official eBay, and they filmed like this thing that they're going to be putting out of basically Nicole and I talking about our story and our business and why we do it and all kinds of stuff. So that was pretty cool. We ended up spending a lot of money redoing a lot of the house and spending a lot of time, and it was hectic for a solid several days, but I think it turned out really well, and it felt really cool being recognized by eBay.
Where is it going to air? Is it like does eBay have their own YouTube channel or something?
Yeah, I believe that they're going to be putting it up on their YouTube channel.
Oh, okay.
We're going to get a weekly series? Or?
No, I wish. That'd be cool. I know it's going to be going up internally for all the eBay people, and I believe that it's going to be going up publicly as well.
Fuck yeah, we got a celebrity in our midst. You better start plugging the show, motherfucker.
I'm already a celebrity, Corey. Don't you know about my 16,000 YouTube subscribers?
Man, bringing in that YouTube money.
Now, Joe, I am all this eBay talk, and it is Nintendo Switch week. I am a little surprised. We're going to get to the Switch in a little bit, but let's have some talk here right off the top. You have canceled your pre-order. I'm surprised that you did that. You just didn't flip it on eBay.
You know, if it was the holiday season, I absolutely would have kept it and flipped it. But I don't really think that the demand is going to drive that much more money, you know? And plus, I don't want to deal with shipping it and worrying about anything happening in the mail.
Yeah, for what they're getting right now, and then when you get your added fees and stuff, it's really not worth it at this point, is it?
Yeah, I think maybe I'd make $100, but that's a $300 I have to put down to make that $100 back. So
yeah. What if they get it in the mail and suddenly their controllers won't sync? I mean, they'll be pissed off.
Exactly.
Now, Sean, you haven't been on in a little bit either. You've been busy with work, Conan Exiles. What's been going on?
Both. Well, I was able to get on the Conan. Had a few problems with some of the patches. I wasn't able to log on or find my server for that matter. So, but yeah, work's been crazy lately. We got a lot of transition going on with what we're doing. So I've been like working some crazy hours. So I really haven't had a whole lot of time to do gaming and stuff. So I finally got some this week. I was able to get some stuff done, but yeah, that's about it. Nothing exciting, unfortunately.
Mods have already come to Conan, right? You can play with mods already. What about that?
I'm not going to.
Have you played with that? Have you seen that horse mod yet?
Felt like I'd been rammed in the ass by a horse.
I don't believe I've seen that one yet, but I'll take a look on Steam.
Oh, it's hot. You got to watch it.
Well, for us, everybody else, this week, sort of like a mini Christmas for some of us. The Switch is coming out. Horizon Zero Dawn in just less than a day and a half for some people.
Shit, yeah.
Oh, the reviews are like ridiculous already. Like people are. I'm mad that people are so excited about this game and it's getting reviewed so well because I know I'm not going to be able to play it right out the gate. So I'm like, wish it wasn't so good.
I heard it's like around 50 hours to complete if you want to platinum it.
Not happening.
Yeah. So there's a lot of game there, and it's getting excellent reviews. I think one person gave it a 5, which seems kind of laughable, but what are you going to do? Eurogamer just came out and said that this is the best 4K Pro release yet, and even the base hardware looks phenomenal. So have no fear. If you own just the vanilla PS4, you'll be okay, but those of us basking in the PS4 Pro and the 4K goodness, we will have extra things to look at.
And I'm jealous of all of you all that have PS4 and Pro because I can't play this game, and this looks like a really awesome thing.
Oh, yeah.
It looks incredible. And the reviews are that they're going Witcher.
Yeah, they say Witcher, but not so dense, not so bogged down. You don't get a sense of everywhere you turn there's a question mark type thing.
Right, yeah. Well, I should say they're saying Witcher quality and, open world, big, but they're saying it's kind of a cross between Witcher and Far Cry.
I think they're saying it's a cross between Witcher and Ubisoft open world games.
Right, yeah.
That's what people are saying.
I'm so happy to see Guerrilla Games be able to break out of Killzone and live up to a potential that so many people thought it actually had, and it seems like it's living up to that potential. It's great to see that happen, but it is also funny to see all the SJW haters shit all over this game because of the female protagonist. Those tweets have been pretty hilarious to read.
Oh, I haven't seen any of those.
Yeah.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Some of those have come across your wire?
I have a lot of people in my Twitter feed who troll those kinds of people, so they'll retweet some of the things that they say, and yeah, I mean, people are like, "Oh, pre-order canceled," just because some of the reviewers are praising the game for having a female protagonist, and that just pisses off the Gamergate community. So fuck them. I hear the game's great, and I don't want to play it anyway.
I'll look at boobs, but I don't want to play with them.
Yeah, I don't know.
That didn't come out right. I don't want to play as them. How's that? That's crap. I mean, if you're going to troll on that level, I mean, find a new hobby.
I don't think they're trolling. I think those people are genuinely upset by it. But if being upset by it means they don't get to play a game that's being, praised for being so great, good. You're just fucking yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
So again, to recap, Horizon Zero Dawn is out on the 28th, which is just 2 days away. And again, getting fantastic reviews, and it's supposed to look fantastic as well. I have been in a media blackout on this, besides this one article that I've been reading here about, the specs and how everything looks impressive, and they've done a great job. It's things like memory bandwidth haven't taken a hit because they're using, checkerboard 4K and things like that. But other than that, I don't know. I have no idea what the story is about. I'm hearing it's not what you think it's about. It throw you for a loop. So I'm excited to see what this game is about and dive into it on Tuesday when my special edition arrives, the collector's edition with the statue.
Oh, with the statue. Look at you.
Yep.
Ooh, I smell new plastic.
Had to make an upgrade. I did some cleaning in the office today to make room for it and everything.
Wow.
Lifestyles of the rich and infamous.
Yep. Shadow of Mordor. Everybody familiar with that game?
shit, yeah.
Never heard of it.
Never heard of it. I'm sorry, Corey. Well, good old Target might have ruined some E3 plans for Warner Brothers and Monolith Games, as they had a pre-order up online as late as last night for a game called Middle-earth Shadow of War. And if you look at the cover art in the article here, it looks very similar to some of the characters in Shadow of Mordor. And the listing had the launch date as August 22nd. So possibly could have been some E3 candy leaked out early.
Midsummer love for our consoles.
Does this move the needle for anybody here? Something you're looking forward to?
I didn't finish it, but that first one was super good.
Yes.
I regret not finishing it, but I will be picking up this one. Hopefully they learned a couple things since the first one, and they make it just so you don't feel like you're stuck in the same area for way too long or doing too much repetitive stuff.
Right. Yeah, the first one was really good. You played through that, Corey, right?
I did not. This is one of the games that I missed that I regret that I missed because I've never met anyone who played it who said it was bad, and that reading about that whole Nemesis system that they implemented, and yeah, that's something along the lines of like a roadie run or cover base that like tons of games are going to borrow from. You're going to see a lot of games with that kind of system implemented because that's genius what they did. So,
well, I'm wondering if they will because I think they've got it copyrighted.
Yeah, same.
Really?
You know what I think would be really cool?
I could be wrong.
You could copyright rock and roll if you want, but you could still play something that sounds like rock and roll. I mean, how could you copy the Nemesis? You can't just call it Nemesis, but you could make a different iteration of it, right? I mean,
yeah, I guess what it is they're not licensing out that engine or whatever that Nemesis part of it or whatnot. So
it's more of a concept. Yeah, I mean, tons of games could borrow that concept. You know, just like roadie running. No one's going to call it a roadie run, but like a dive, move the camera down, shake all around type run. Like other games are doing that now.
Yeah.
I'm surprised no one has done it yet because that game came out in 2014. So you think someone would have implemented it by now, but maybe it's coming.
Well, I mean, cool. Is if they made like a Hatfield and McCoy's like crazy like weird feuding redneck family game with the Nemesis
stole
system.
my moonshine, motherfucker.
That's very timely with the death of Bill Paxton today.
Oh, yes.
Hatfield and McCoy's.
Is it? I don't know
he was in the movie.
Oh, there was a movie?
The most recent movie. There might have been a couple of them, but he was in the most recent one.
Wasn't that like a mini series on TNT or something, or USA or something?
It was also that too, yeah. But
I'm not sure if he was in the movie or if he was in the mini series, but whatever the most recent one was, he was in it.
Either way, we're paying homage to Bill Paxton on our soundboard today.
I'm not a moron, you know.
Well, some of us are.
Only on Thursdays.
I think there's going to be a lot of morons coming on Friday with the Nintendo Switch coming out. Who's got that coming in? Corey, right?
Mm-hmm.
And myself as well. And Jay, have you canceled yours, or what are you doing?
No, my buddy Trav is going to take it.
Nice. So, that's coming out Friday. I'm very excited for that. Are you working today, Corey? You got the day off? What's the deal?
With PAX and everything coming up, and March is going to be a very busy month for me. Like every weekend, I have to work that day. So, but also I've pre-ordered from Target, so I don't know how they are as far as getting it to me on launch day goes. So that's still like up in the air for me. I don't know if I'm going to have it on launch day or not.
You got to go pick it up, or they ship it to you?
I think they ship it to me. I don't know. Like, they didn't specify I have to go pick it up. I have to look at the email again, but I'm pretty sure they're going to ship it to me. I have no idea. I don't want to be left on, like, Friday with my fucking Joy-Con in my hand, not knowing what the hell to do, so.
Yeah, so mine's coming from Amazon. It hasn't shipped or anything like that, so probably midweek, I would assume. But there's been some issues here, and they're calling it a desync issue. And some people who are maybe on the pro Nintendo side of things are saying, slow down. There's a day one patch that's coming out that could potentially fix this issue. So basically what it is it if you have the Joy-Cons in either the grip or just in your hands, so off of the tablet, some people are reporting that the left Joy-Con is losing connection for about 2 to 3 seconds.
Is it specifically just the left one is?
That's what I'm hearing. Most people are reporting the left. Some people, like people at Eurogamer and other places, have said they haven't had any problems whatsoever. Some people have had the problems because they've gone out of their way to replicate the issue. And then you have some people that says, nope, I have the problem. I haven't done anything special. I've just taken the Joy-Cons off, put it on the grip. I'm playing the game, playing Zelda, and then maybe twice within a 6-hour period or more than that, it's lost connection in the middle of a battle, and then it resyncs up like 2-3 seconds later.
Now if that's the case, like I don't want it to be, and I'm really hoping this is just overblown and most people won't have this problem, but if that's the case, that's fucking unforgivable to have controllers just stop fucking working. Like, this is 2017, Nintendo. To have your controllers just like stop working like that, even if it is for a couple of seconds, like you haven't heard of that happening with any other console launches. And
I know the Xbox would never have had that happen multiple times over the past few years when they do updates.
You've had that? That's never happened to me ever.
No, that was a reported thing. It was in the news a couple times. One time in the beginning, they were having some issues when the Pro first came out. Mike, was that the first time?
Typical Xbox.
And then they did an update, and they were having some issues. Yeah.
I've never had an issue with the last time I had an issue with controllers like just desyncing randomly was when I was using a fucking Mad Catz controller on a PS2. And that was
there you go.
That was like 15 years ago. Yeah. So like just to have brand new tech, like just a controller not work, that's fucking insane. Like God, I hope that's not going to happen.
PS3 had issues, and they had to do some sort of firmware update with the DualShock 3s. So yeah, I don't know how widespread this is. Obviously, if you have it on the tablet, it's a non-issue. It's if you have the Joy-Cons in your hands or you have them in the grip.
The doggy grip?
Yeah. People are reporting the issue. Again, some haven't had the issue. Some have, and some have because they've totally gone out of their way. So there's a video out there where this guy does a very good job of explaining what the issue is. You know, he's got the Joy-Con in his hand, and he's moving it in a circular fashion. He's showing you the calibration screen, and it's moving in a perfect circle. And then he puts his hand over the Joy-Con to sort of like cover, like, Jay, is there like some sort of like infrared technology there?
No, it is wireless. It's a wireless signal. But it's not RF because RF is like light, so it needs a line of sight. Which I know there's RF in it for the camera, but not for that motion. I think that motion, I don't believe they use Bluetooth. It's probably, RF. IR is line of sight. RF is a radio signal. So that shouldn't be blocked by line of sight or anything. And I think they actually use both of those on there. I'm not sure because of the camera and whatnot. But that control stick would be radio, and it just looks like he was saying he was 10 feet away, and by blocking the signal by just his hand, which your body will naturally act almost like a Faraday cage in some cases, depending on what the signal is, and that's kind of what's blocking it.
He totally cupped it like you couldn't even see the Joy-Con anymore. So obviously no one's going to play the game like that, right?
Well, I don't know. Look how you hold the controller.
But
you cup your hand around it.
You can cup a fucking PS4 controller, you're not going to lose sync. You can put that motherfucker like down your pants and you're not going to lose sync. I've walked like down the hallway.
Well, no, it depends on how big your zipper is.
The way that guy was holding it, you couldn't play the game that way. You wouldn't be playing it. It was like your hands were folded at church.
But still, I should be able to put it in my fucking pocket. If I'm in the same room as the console, I shouldn't lose sync.
Right.
Like, what kind of technology
and your hand are certainly – those are not the same thing.
But even so, I mean, I'm just saying the technology is there.
I don't know. I mean, you're paying $300 for the system core. It's not like you're paying $30,000 for some system that's got some...
I should be able to wrap it in tinfoil, put it in a safe.
I should be able to put 10 towels over me, blankets, and then put it behind my back, and the thing should still play for me. I don't think that's a realistic scenario.
I didn't.
I
pay
should be able to keister it, and then
I didn't pay $30,000 for my cell phone either, but I can put that motherfucker in my pocket, and my Bluetooth can connect to a fucking speaker on the other side of the house. Still.
No, I did that today earlier, and I was telling Jay in our chat. I was like, he got me this Unz Bluetooth speaker in my office, and I went out in the kitchen, and all of a sudden it lost connection. And
well, that's a shitty Bluetooth connection.
Oh, that's Bluetooth, yeah. Well, no, I mean, that's
what he was
Bluetooth.
just talking
You get about 10 foot away. My headphones will do the same thing. If I get about 20, 25 feet away, my headphones will start getting staticky and go away. I mean, but
you can put it in your pocket, right?
Like that's Bluetooth. That's Bluetooth. This is an RF. I think part of the issue is here, and kind of Mike said earlier, we're going to have to do a Mr. Wizard section here. So now, warning, science. So, I mean, this is an RF signal, and they're trying to get battery life out of it. So part of this may be the fact that they've got the transmitter that's in the controller, dialed down to try and conserve battery. So it may not be putting out a really strong signal if you're 10 feet away, although some people have been saying even when they're closer. But, it depends, too, I mean, on how much interference. Maybe there's some kind of interference in these other areas. I mean, right now it's only media who have them, and you got to figure they probably are using them in their offices that have multiple other consoles, and you've got phones, and you've got Bluetooth, and you got all kind, you've got routers, you've got all kinds of stuff. I mean, Mike's run into some issues like that in his office with all the equipment he has. So, I mean, that may be an issue, and maybe that the day one patch will fix it. But, I mean, what he was doing, wrapping your hand around the controller like that, I mean, what the stuff that I used to work on, we would have issues with that too. You put your hand around, and like I said, it acts like a Faraday cage. A Faraday cage will take a signal and ground it. I mean, your body will act and dampen a signal down. He was putting it behind his back too, and it was doing it, and he was 10 feet away. Well, look at the current Wii U. You do that with the controller. If you get too far away, you can probably get maybe 15 feet away from the Wii U and you start losing connection.
Yeah, I can get about 30 feet as long as I have kind of line of sight. But I mean, right. I could turn around. I could break line of sight if I was within 30 feet and it would still work.
Right, and he was only getting it when he put his hand in front. So, I don't know where the transmitter is in the controller. And he was also saying that people are probably noticing it with the left because the left is the one that you use for walking around. So that's the one you're going to notice more.
I don't know.
Right hand one, you're not using it quite as much.
If you're in the middle of combat, like even in Breath of the Wild, you use both joysticks. Like the X and Y plane. You're going to notice it with either of them.
Right.
The good news is, I guess things like this have been fixed through patches, like you said, with like the PS3 and the Xbox One. So hopefully it is. But have they announced at all what is in that patch? Like, have they given any hint what that patch is about?
Mike, you've seen nothing. Nintendo's made no announcement that I can find.
In the Polygon article in the show notes, they say they're looking into it, but there's also a day one patch that's coming out.
Right. So you wonder if that's part of it. But I mean, you've got some people saying that they have the issue, but it's at 10 feet. And then you've got others saying, no, I'm sitting right in front of the damn thing. I'm 3 feet away from it, and it's doing it. So.
But then you also have the people who are saying I've not had an issue. So like the whole thing is all speculation.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. And then there's the people that are not having the issue until they decide to do some testing, like put their hands all completely over the thing, put it behind their back, sit on it, whatever,
I'm wondering what changes, because, I mean, from the videos, you just slide the controllers down, those like little, I don't know, whatever you want to call them, like wedges on the side of the tablet. You just slide them on. It doesn't look like any actual anything gets plugged in. So I'm wondering how the signal changes. Like, has anybody reported having the problem while they're playing, while it's attached to the tablet itself?
No. They say tablet's fine.
Huh.
It's when it's either in the dog grip or you got like the tablet, you're playing the tablet, it's got the kickstand and you're just playing, you got the Joy-Cons disconnected from it.
Right.
For
individually.
For Nintendo's sake, I hope they get their shit together before this hurts them at all. Because this, if it's really widespread after launch, this could really fucking hurt them.
I mean, everybody would return it, right?
Or people who are waiting, like how many people in our audience have said like, I'm going to wait. And then if like 50% of people who are early adopters say like, yeah, my controller's all fucked up, that's going to destroy all those people who potentially were going to buy one.
Yeah, but they could come out a few weeks later and say it's fixed, and then people could say, yeah, it's fixed, and then move on. But if it's unfixable, then any potential people they're going to just tune out immediately. But then all the people that bought it are going to be returning it for like, defective product. So that's the worst case thing is it's just not fixable.
It's first impressions too. I mean, people might say like, no, it's fixed now. It's fixed. Like the initial online infrastructure of the PS3 was fucking terrible, but it eventually things got fixed and it got better. But it turned off a lot of people in the beginning who just never gave it a second glance.
Well, look what happened with the iPhone there, where they were having the antenna issues. If you held it a certain way, the way they designed it, it grounded the two antennas together because they had that.
Here's a good analogy. The Xbox One, there are still people that think that you cannot fucking buy used games and play them on the Xbox One. Yeah. So people hearing about these hardware issues right before the launch are going to think that even if they fix it with a patch, there's people going to be thinking this is like still happening a year, 2 years from now because they heard it right before the launch.
Right. I guess those people never go into a GameStop then and see all the used Xbox games.
Well, it's first impressions, man. Like Joe said, a lot of people aren't plugged into what happens with the industry, so they might think like, "Oh, I heard this, so fuck that," and never look twice at it.
Yeah. Well, the main thing with the Xbox was it wasn't used. It was if it wasn't connected online, you couldn't use it. Was a big thing that people still believe now. That if you're not connected,
it was the whole sharing thing. Remember, Shuhei and Adam Boyes were like, "This is how you share games on the Xbox on PlayStation 4," and they just handed each other a game.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, but I mean, here's the big question. I mean, do you cancel your order or not? And the thing you need to base that on is, do you trust that Nintendo would put something out like this, and if there was an issue, they wouldn't remedy it and leave you with a piece of equipment that doesn't work?
I jokingly kid around that this felt like the FBI with Hillary Clinton right before the election, because I didn't hear word one of this at any of these events. Now, Jay, you can say you heard stuff. I didn't hear people saying anything was super out of the ordinary, like it was consistently happening. Maybe one or two people said something, but I didn't hear widespread people saying this thing is fucking not working correctly. It was quite the opposite. People were kind of blown away.
Well, it's not a controlled environment. Events are very, very controlled.
Well, the big thing is it's people right now, it's media that have gotten consoles early that are the big thing was like Wario 64 tweeted out that there was this issue, and he had some trusted games media journalists out there that have gotten the console that were saying they had the issue. Otherwise, I'd be like, this is just people trolling and whatnot. But I mean, some trusted journalists were and again, trusted by who, but depending on from what I've seen, these journalists, they've had truth out there. So
one or two things then has either gone on. Is that something happened in manufacturing, right? Something got fucked up because, again, we didn't hear this at the events. I mean, we had Sid Bolton on who played for like an hour plus, right? You didn't hear word one of that from him.
But again, like you've been to events. When you play, there are Nintendo or there are PR people all over the place. Everything's very controlled. They'll take the controller from you, set it up.
I don't know about that, Corey. We went to the fucking PSVR thing, and those people didn't know their ass from their elbow.
Well, but
those things, if anything,
they're a hired company coming in doing it. They're not even from Nintendo. I don't think Nintendo does. I think I think
it's quite the opposite. I think you'd be more prone to have issues at these shows because everybody's beating up on them and doing different things and testing them.
It also depends on who the people are, like you said, who are giving the demonstrations. Are these directly Nintendo employees, or is this just some PR firm where they don't know their ass from their elbow?
That I'm not sure.
I would like to actually meet somebody that does not know the difference between their ass and their elbow.
Well, I deal with them on a daily
dude, that'd
basis.
Be a rough one, man. I've been wiping all day. My elbow's still dirty.
I'm not a moron,
So yeah, either something got fucked up in manufacturing, or these people don't have the firmware that's going to make this shit work.
Well, on that, one of them, and I don't remember which one it was exactly. It's in the replies to Wario's tweet about that. I think there was one or two that did mention that it happened when they were doing a demo during one of the during one of the cons. I don't know if it was.
I think one-off things are always anomalies. You can get a brand new PS4 Pro and take it home and not have it work. That doesn't mean all of them aren't going to work. When all of a sudden 7, 8, 20, 30 people start mentioning it, that's a more widespread issue.
It was less heard of. Like, it was definitely less heard of before people started taking them home.
Now, if this was the Xbox, would you believe it, Mike?
I believe that it's happening. I don't have any doubt. I'm just okay. To me, it's strange. It's very strange because why all of a sudden now? You know, I mean, what happens if it can't be fixed via a patch?
Well, that's where I was going when I mentioned. I mean, do you think that Nintendo would leave you with hardware that did not work?
No, I don't think purposely. No, I think something happened in manufacturing. Something got fucked up.
Or, like I said, it may just be, like I said, for me, knowing the technology behind it. You know, I mean, I don't know exactly what it is.
Do you think Xbox knew about the Red Ring beforehand and gave everybody those consoles?
They should have. I mean, I was in the industry at that point in time when they were switching over, and that was a solder issue. I mean, we mentioned that this was a long time ago, one of the early podcasts. But what that was is they were switching from lead solder to tin solder, and tin solder is a lot more. It fractures more easily because it's harder. So they should have known that because that was a known issue at the time.
So then there's your answer.
Because it was global, they switched over. I mean, this is the same thing. They could run into this. But I guess where I was going is, I mean, this may be a hardware issue, and they may have to recall these Joy-Cons and send new ones out, which would take them. You could be stuck with a console that's not working for a bit.
It would absolutely cripple the console.
Oh, it would cripple them, yeah.
They would never recover.
It would cost them a fortune, and it's their launch console with everything riding on it. Like, they're going to do anything they can to fix this.
It doesn't have everything riding on it because they have so much money that they could absorb this and then just go in hiding for a little bit. They're not going to go out of business. But it would certainly be the nail in the coffin for the Switch.
Yeah.
They took an enormous hit with the Wii U. Like, they didn't make hardly any money with the Wii U, and I don't think they have as much money as you think. I think there's a lot riding on this.
People say, people like RoboPig and other people have told me that they're so flush with cash that they could lose like money 50 years in a row and still be in the black.
Nintendo? I don't think so.
I feel like they have, obviously there's a lot riding on this, but I wouldn't say it's going to put them out. I feel like they would at least have one more chance after this. And I feel like if this did fail, they would fall back on a new handheld, a new DS or equivalent to a DS.
They would have to move fast and swiftly to recover if it, in fact, was a hardware issue. They'd have to do like Peter Moore and just get out in front of it and own it and not let any of the other ones be sold until it could be fixed. It would be some serious, Band-Aids being applied everywhere to fix this problem.
I mean, this has been my concern with this the whole time, though. They've held this so closely to their chest. I mean, the thing's coming out, and how long do we have now?
I mean, I even think we're doing a little bit of disservice by beating it up so much because...
Well, I'm trying not to.
There could be people that could just be casually listening to this and go, why the fuck would I ever buy a Switch when the firmware or the patch or whatever comes out and there's no problem whatsoever?
Right.
Exactly. And that's what I think will happen. It may reduce the battery life, but people don't even know what the real battery life is now. I mean, they've suggested amounts. It's not set in stone. Nobody's really tested that yet. So, I mean, I don't think that would really hurt them. If it ended up being a hardware thing, which I really doubt it is, and that's where I was trying to go with that, is I really doubt it is. I think it's going to be an update with that. I mean, I can't guarantee that, but I don't think it would be something where they would have to do a recall of Joy-Cons and release new ones with more powerful transmitters in them or anything like that. But, it's just be aware of it,
And just to wrap up what you said, do you think they'd put something out like that? Well, clearly we just asked you about the soldering, and you think Xbox should have known that. So there's precedent. Yeah, they could.
But that was an engineering thing. They didn't do it on purpose. Like you said, it's not something they did on purpose, and they took care of it. Nintendo has been known to put out quality products. When you do get it, it generally works. I mean, that's one thing people say, even about the majority of their games, except for Super Mario Run, that fucking piece of shit.
I do want to take a second, and just for clarification and to be upfront, My canceling of my Switch has nothing to do with the hardware issues. My canceling of my Switch is just because I don't feel like I'm going to be able to actually really use it. Right now, my time is super maxed out, and so I don't feel like spending $300 on something that I'll maybe be able to touch for, an hour a week is a good investment.
It's not worth it.
That's just where I'm coming from. It has nothing to do with these hardware issues.
No. Also, full disclosure too, to anybody listening who is it like you said the hypothetical, anybody listening who's casual gamer might be turned off by all this alarmism talk that we've been doing. This is all pure speculation. All of it's speculation. None of us have played the Switch, and no one's really going to know how widespread it is until the console launches. So if I could give any advice to this possibly hypothetical listener, is just wait. Don't
listen to us next week.
Yeah, early adoption is a risk. It's always, always a risk. So, I advise you and your wallet to wait unless let us take the hit, and we'll tell you our experience. So, I always advise against early adoption, even though I'm a dumb son of a bitch who almost always does it. So, but, if someone is worried about this, don't be an early adopter. Just wait at least 1 week, and then just, stay up to date with the news.
Now, let me ask you 2 questions, Corey, and then we'll move on to the listener stuff. Are you in the market now for a Pro controller?
The one that looks more like the other console's controller.
Yeah.
Probably not. With the Wii U, I never bought one of the Pro controllers because I kind of enjoy Nintendo's take on a different type of controller. So unless I feel really uncomfortable playing Breath of the Wild, I probably won't buy it. Or
the Pro controller doesn't have the issue.
Right.
Oh, that's true too. I mean,
right. They are sold out right now.
I procured one, luckily.
Potentially, I guess, worst case scenario, they say there's no Switch or there's no fix for this. And I'm stuck with a console because I've already paid for it and everything. I probably would because I ain't playing fucking Mario Kart or Splatoon 2 with some sort of lag. Fuck that. That's ridiculous.
And now the second question I'll ask you is, will you try to go out of your way to reproduce this?
I'll probably do the minor things because I'm not going to play, maybe at the most 10 feet from my console while it's, plugged into the TV. I will... I'll probably put my hands around it to see if that happens. I'll probably turn around. I'll see if I can reproduce it. Just, I'm not going to go get tinfoil and do all that crazy shit. And I'm definitely going to, I'm going to go to the can. I'm going to go sit on the can and see if I can play on the can from a distance. But,
well, you can see your TV from the can?
Yeah. Luckily, in my den, I do have a shitter where if I lean just right, I can actually see the TV. So,
wow.
We want video. Letting out the door, please.
You're kind of infringing on the lean and clean, I think. Mike's going to charge you royalties.
My lawyers will be in touch.
But that wouldn't actually even make sense because I could literally bring the screen in with me to play on the shitter. So the shitting aside, I'll try to recreate it a little bit, but I mean, not really.
I gotta say 2 last things. 1, this has me less excited about the release. And 2, this has me fucking pumped for the release because I want to see how fucking quirky this thing is, and then I don't want to be let down and wow, I just pissed a lot of money away and have the thing not work. So I'm both sides of the coin here, looking forward to Friday and seeing what the fuck's gonna happen.
It's a big week. This is a very big week for the industry. Like you said, it feels like Christmas. I'm very excited.
All right, let's move on. We got to bring Sean back into the show because I think he might have left us.
Sean, did you cancel your Switch order?
No, because I'm going to get to play the Switch at Corey's house when I come to PAX. So
there you go, buddy.
Oh, that's why you're staying the night. You're using.
So maybe you apply to maybe you might answer one of these questions here. The question that we asked everybody this week is, do you identify more with being a nerd, a dork, or a geek?
Nerd!
I love that sound effect.
So we had many, well, first of all, let's back up. We've had many new people join our Discord server. So shout out to all those new people for joining us, and thanks for listening.
That's awesome.
And that's where a majority of these answers come from. So, Sean, why don't you go ahead and kick things off and read some of these responses?
All right, we're going to start with Chaffee at That Chaffee of Games We Don't Play. I am a geek. I get super hyped up and geek over music, TV games, and gaming. Devious Mr. Matt of the 40cast. I guess nerd for me. Seems like it can be a badge of honor here lately, actually. Everyone needs a nerd to fix techie stuff.
So if we're keeping track, one for geek and one for nerd.
I totally feel, Matt, I want to talk about this before we move away from it, though. Is anybody else here like the designated honorary tech person for almost every older person in their family? Like if you go to visit like a parent.
Just my mother.
They have some.
Not even an older person. I have to do everything for my fucking wife.
They just have a bizarre problem with their computer, like my computer, and they say some shit you've never heard of that doesn't make sense, and you just have to go try to figure that shit out.
My tablet won't connect. Can you come over and fix it?
My mom.
The worst thing for me is they always ask me about printers, and I know nothing about printers. I don't own one. I don't want one. I don't want to be near one.
I hate printers.
Try the wireless ones. Every time I go over my mother's, I have to reconnect the fuck.
Anytime they ask me, I'm like, sorry, I don't know anything about printers. You got the wrong guy.
Yeah,
I won't answer questions about them because they just bother the shit out of me. I'm like,
what are you even printing, people?
They're printing all
the
this
copier
shit.
dies at work. They call me. They're like, "Can you fix this thing?"
I mean, kid, don't you have a printer at your place, Joe? Aren't you printing out all that eBay shit?
Yeah, but that's my job. What does a casual person need a printer for these days?
They're printing out their stuff to go to the airport for their passes. They're printing out,
postage.
You can do all of that on your phone.
Recipes. These people just used to print out. They want the hard copy in their hand.
Yeah, my dad. Whenever my dad flies, he always prints his shit out. I'm like, Dad, you can have a digital copy on your phone. He's like, no, and he'll print out like 7 pages of shit.
Yeah, all the terms and conditions and all that stuff.
Yeah. Everything, yeah. It's crazy. I'm like, Dad, you're printing it out so you can fucking lose it later. Just bring your phone. And no, he won't do that.
What if my phone dies?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Charger.
All right. So
back in my day, we had to go uphill both ways with our boarding pass.
Our printers.
Fuck printers.
All right. To get us back on track here, let's go with the elusive man of the Future Monkeys. I'm good with nerd or geek. Dork, while in the same category, doesn't seem to have evolved as a positive title the way nerd or geek has. See, back in my day, it wasn't okay to be any of these things. But now, like Matt said, we wear it proudly on our sleeves.
I'm pretty sure we're all older than...
I'm pretty sure we are.
So back in my day.
So back in your day, Los.
Well, he was very succinct, though. I completely agree with him. Those two do sound positive now, while Dork still sounds pretty shitty.
All right, I think it's my turn, isn't it?
Yes.
It is.
Okay, well, Latina Mafia says, as far as the question of the week, I'd have to say I'm a bit of a nerd more than anything. Maybe some geek and dork as well. I'm a scholared individual who works in the investigative forensic field. But I love popping me some grapes. I'm an avid book reader and movie lover, especially sci-fi and fantasy. I'm a lot like my brother at Sky Fox. But not as tech-savvy as most of you boys, but I do love to nerd out on a crime scene.
Yeah.
Cool.
That's pretty fucking cool. I feel terrible about my life and what I've, chose to do with it. Jesus Christ.
Right? I know. I'm pathetic compared to you.
I picture her at a crime scene where there's a dead body and she's getting all excited like I would for Back to the Future, and I'm in the corner vomiting my guts out.
Exactly. I need one of those brown paper bags just to breathe.
No way. She shows up on a crime scene and she says, "Oh, damn, he got his grape popped." Mafia Thug says, "Well, I'm going to have to own it because I actually wear it loud and proud. I'm a nerd, man. I'm nerding out all over the place, at work, at home, on the road. LOL, everywhere. I have been called a convict before, so I figure a nerd is a better option, especially for our children." Nerd! All right, Latina's brother, probably not actually, but best friend, amigo, clanmate, Skyfox says, "Gotta go with geek. I'm the type who gets heavily invested in imaginary universes. Star Wars, Tron, Assassin's Creed, The Last of Us, BioShock, etc. I love the lore and artwork and history of things like this. Not so much nerdy, although I'm pretty tech savvy, but I wear my passion for my games on my sleeves like no other. Gamer at heart and for life.
I totally feel that when I'm like really invested in a game and I happen to be away from my console, like at work, and I can't play it, I just really, really like to get involved in the lore. I can sit there and read about lore in non-existent universes for like hours. Like Bloodborne, I just read and read and read and read about all the lore in Bloodborne, even though it doesn't matter and it's totally inconsequential to the game, but I got way into it.
So how in depth? Can you speak Wookiee or Klingon?
My Wookiee's a little rusty, but you know.
It's more like a.
Well, if it's rusty, wouldn't that be C-3PO or R2-D2?
I'll get. Oh, that was a total dork joke right there, but I'll give you.
No, that was a nerd dad joke.
All right, and Jay Fresh in the Discord, or as I like to call him, Whale Dick. I am a dork for the pure fact that I believe that a dork is between a geek and a nerd. It's like a hybrid. I love tech and I love games and figurines and memorabilia for games and other things like movies and TV shows. A dork is someone that can geek out on those things, and nerds collect and get obsessed over things like those. LOL. So his dork is like a hybrid combination. I like that. I haven't heard that definition before. So, and RoboPig, our buddy RoboPig, I guess I'm going nerd, but I'm not sure how geek differs from it. But if techie is nerd, then that's what I would have to go with. Nerd! Yep, I'm going to play the whole thing over and over. And Buck Sugar Free, our new buddy on Discord, I'm a nerd. Only for the reason that I have both knowledge and passion for video games and Star Wars. Me too, dude. But my ex-wife would disagree. She calls me a loser. She sounds like a bitch, by the way. Because to her, a 40-year-old man should not be playing video games. Guess that's why she's my ex-wife. Totally agree with you, man.
We'll hear more about that in just a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And to move on here, we have DRP 2309S. Oh, man, that's a hard one. I am a computer and systems engineer by trade. I've been called all three. I can easily rule out dork. It's between nerd and geek. I'm absolutely a nerd. I am the guy that wants to back every tech project in Kickstarter because they all look so cool. I game, love gadgets, and everything tech. Hell, even my light bulbs are smart. Yeah, well, my plugs are, so. Lowly Dealer. I got to say, the geek is more my style in terms of being tech-savvy and a gamer, but I can't say I really want to be flying that banner. And last, we have Vulcan44. There's a couple underscores in there, but you figure out where they go. I would say I would be tethered, associated with a... What's that, Mike?
I don't know. I don't know what tethered means. Go ahead, keep going.
Oh, okay. I would say I would be tethered, associated with a nerd because I am beyond normal smart, and that's why he said tethered nerd, I bet.
Whoa. We got a smarty pants alert here.
Hey.
Well, who wants to go first and tell us why they're one of these things or not one of these things?
I can go if you want.
Yeah, go for it.
Go ahead, Jay.
I prefer nerd. I've mentioned it before. I sometimes call myself a redneck nerd, which both of those genres people generally would look at as a negative. However, the nerd side of it is something, I think that's a word that we have taken that used to be, a kind of slang, as bad, you were whatnot, and has been turned into, now if you call somebody a nerd, it's a good thing. If you're in that group of people and whatnot. Some people still use it as a negative, but when we hear it, we don't think of it as negative. So I really do kind of pick nerd over the others because to me it's now a positive. If you're a nerd, you were that kid that got picked on in school, but now a lot of us have moved on and become successful in life and moved on, and we enjoy what we enjoy, our games, technology and stuff like that. So, and then so That's the side I kind of go for.
All right. What about you, Sean?
I'm all three. I don't really care. I pretty much I'll live with any of them. I don't, because everybody has said, back in the day, you weren't allowed to be any of these without, getting, harassed or, picked on or whatever. So I've been wearing these proud for a long time. Now I'm just, not afraid to say it anymore. When I'll bring up a story when our listener question there brings up that actually happened to me this last week with that. But yeah, that's what I am. I'm good with that.
All right.
Dude, now, you just said, Joe, like 8 times.
You know.
Now,
Joe, that it's your turn,
Well,
oh, no.
Sorry, Sean.
That's all right. I love you anyway. I love you too.
I don't really like to be called any of them, to be honest. I don't like nerd culture. I hate pop culture in general. I think that everybody obsessing over everything is super toxic. I think that people should just be able to like what they like and not have to be branded some stupid title.
Now we're all hanging our heads and going, what the fuck, man?
So Joe takes the moral high ground here.
So if you had to pick one, Joe, just play along. If you had to pick one.
I guess nerd, I don't know. Nerd, I guess.
All right. Now, I know Corey's got a probably rather lengthy answer here, so go for it.
All right. Yeah, you're right. So I'll apologize in advance for overthinking this question.
And girth?
Girth, probably about 4.5 inches, but let's move on.
Tunic.
All right. So, all three of them are interchangeable, like everybody says. So, I have a definition for each one. So like a geek reminds me of somebody says oh, I geek out over this, or I'm a car geek, I'm a food geek or something. It's just something you're a really big fan of that gets really excited. I feel like nerd like a nerd implies some sort of higher than average knowledge about a subject. You know what I mean? Like if someone says I'm a Star Wars nerd, that means they know what the extended universe is about. They know things that weren't in the movies. So nerd implies some sort of more than average knowledge. And for me, dork just insinuates a kind of complete uncool goofiness, whether it be sense of style, bad dad jokes, puns, stuff like that. So I would have to go with Sean and say I'm all three, depending upon the subject. With silly jokes and puns, I'm a dork. When it comes to Star Wars, I'm a nerd. When it comes to pop culture, I'm a geek. So it just depends on the subject for me, I guess.
Interesting.
Go and make it complicated.
I'd have to rule out dork. Dork to me still has it's like a person, I think Joe alluded to this, a person that tucks their pants into their socks. They're just
You're not supposed to do that?
They're just not aware of certain things. You just a really throwback to a what you think. If you close your eyes and thought of what a traditional nerd is, I think that's sort of segued over to dork.
What an 80s stereotype of a nerd. You can't help but stuff them in a locker. It's just you can't even stop yourself.
Right. The people that are always wearing the high waters, it's just, So I'd probably a combination of nerd and geek, but I think if I had to pick between the two, I'd probably go with geek. I geek out over a lot of things, a lot of music, a lot of sports, and obviously the video games too. So I don't feel that I am knowledgeable enough or smart enough to be a nerd. So I will downplay my skills in life and say that I'm just a geek. I'm a lowly geek.
I mean, if you're going with that route, fuck that. You're a fucking music nerd because you drop all the crazy ass fucking music knowledge all the time.
I would totally call you a music nerd. I'm with Joe here.
I know some music here and there.
I'd call him an insider.
You're oh yeah, I know this drummer from this band from this year.
Not the name drop, guys, but so-and-so was at the so-and-so the other day. And
oh, look at Sean's been holding that in for a while. I
didn't know you sewed.
No, I
An example of a dork. We had to bring up dork again.
Yeah, just to round out the conversation. All right, so we have a listener question this week from Bucks Sugar Free.
I'm listening.
Don't step on the lines, Jay. I have a question. Like I stated before, my ex-wife thinks people my age are too old for video games. Do you guys have any relative or friend that looks down on you because you still play video games? I will say no to this.
None? Nobody in your life, even like the older people, kind of think that, you know...
Nope, because the older people in my life now have grandkids, or like my uncle, who I've talked about numerous times, who's got very young kids, even though he's almost, in his mid-60s. He's buying the video games. He's playing the video games with them. There's probably no one, maybe a little bit of my wife. Why the fuck you playing that? Or, stuff like that every once in a while. Why are you spending all the money on that? But I'd say, live a pretty charmed life. I don't have anybody that comes down on me because of my interest. So I am lucky in that respect. What about you, Corey?
I know that I definitely have some extended family that probably look down on it. But again, those are the people on Facebook which you only see on Facebook. You never have any interactions with them. As far as like my immediate personal life, I don't think anybody does. But there are those people that do. And as far as those people that do, I think those people are they're kind of like that word I slipped up and said a bunch of times in the last podcast. Yeah, as far as I'm concerned, all those people, I'll see you next Tuesday.
For this first time ever since we've done this podcast, I put the link out to the show on my regular Facebook this week. It never really dawned on me because I knew people, sorry to throw names around here, Joe and Sean, but, most of my hardcore friends, maybe they are gamers and I don't know, but I just figured there would be no interest, and I was completely right. Like, one person responded. There was, hardly any likes. I knew no one gave a fuck that I was in a podcast, that segment of my life did not care whatsoever. So that's why I never did it. But, again, to further my point, no one came back and said nerd or dork or geek or anything like that either, so...
And for all you know, some of them may have gone to the link and downloaded the show and said, oh, no shit, this is cool, but never said anything.
Yep.
I completely relate to what you just said.
Thank you.
About how you don't post it anywhere because all your hardcore friends and music companions probably don't really give a shit that you're on a gaming podcast.
Yeah.
I do it. I post once in a while. Most of the stuff I post is on Twitter because that's where all of the like-minded folks are.
Most of the people on mine don't even know what a friggin' podcast is, so.
They don't even have TVs yet up in Maine like that.
We got TVs.
Yeah,
out of a tree.
You still have to go over to their house and fix their internet because it's broken.
It's just a hollowed out TV. They look out in the woods and see the action come through the back of the TV.
Oh, look, another bear.
So what are you, Joe? Does anybody else still give you shit? Wife or anything?
Nobody's going to give me any garbage.
That's right.
I guess the guy that was teaching me the tattoo, he would always be like, I don't know, Skyrim's the only video game I like. All the other games, whatever. And that's the most negative thing I've heard about gaming, really.
Was his name Goalie?
No.
He is a Skyrim playing motherfucker.
Yeah,
See, Todd Howard this week said they're working on 3 games, one of which is mobile, and the other 2... Well, not exactly like Skyrim or Fallout. They're, games that people would think that Bethesda would make, and but they're much larger in scale.
Also, they're buggy as fuck.
Yeah.
Hopefully there was a new engine in there at some point.
And boring.
Oh, that's just mean.
Did we already go to you, Corey, on this or no?
Yes, I did. I dropped the C word again for the second podcast in a row.
So it's Jay's turn.
What are we talking about?
Does anybody care that you sit home in your basement and play video games?
Yeah, my wife, especially when she wants a new bathroom built in the basement. So, and as far as the family, I kind of did the same thing. When you tweeted that out, I kind of shared it on my Facebook page, and I got nothing. I kind of expected to almost get some negative replies from maybe some of the family, because a lot of my family is reborn Christians.
It's not godlike.
That are not into gaming. Matter of fact, I had an aunt who like you can't listen to this music. That's devil music, and like D&D or any games like that.
That's
you couldn't
when the
do
music
that.
goes up to like fucking 11.
Oh man, yeah. And my parents would kind of listen to that a little bit. They don't so much now, but they did then, and so I was expecting to maybe get some negatives, but so not really. But
what's your aunt's name? I want to friend her on Facebook now.
Yeah.
One of the worst things. My grandmother, before she died, she begged me not to get any more tattoos, and I don't think I only had like 3 or 4 at the time. It's probably like the worst thing you could do. Don't be listening to that devil music. Don't get any more tattoos, Mike.
Yeah. Can I still play it then?
Fucking complete opposite.
But yeah, I mean, so along those lines. But I mean, I've also been pleasantly surprised. I mean, I get together with some of my cousins and stuff now because I'm older than them.
You're older than everybody, Jay.
Well, yeah. But,
maybe Sean. Sean might be older than you.
Yeah. But
Sean, are you older than Jay? Let's not try to hurry this conversation up, Jay. Sean, are you older than Jay?
I'm 43.
No, you're not.
Nope.
What the fuck? Sean's old?
What'd you think he was?
I didn't know that.
I knew.
Yeah, well, maybe you should look it up then. See, that's why he says that in the beginning.
Oh, nice. But I've actually been pleasantly surprised by some of the family that find out that they're gamers and kind of getting some conversations. And I've convinced a few of them to pick up a PS4, believe it or not.
Nice.
Or an Xbox, and told them to stay away from the Nintendo unless they're really into it. So
fanboy.
Jay is anti-fanboy Nintendo. If there was like a fanboy like Xbox or Nintendo fanboy, Jay is the complete opposite for Nintendo.
I am not a...
You're not a fan.
The NES I absolutely love. But, I mean, that's what I originally started on, really. That's what really got me kind of started on it. And then it was the Halo on Xbox that really brought me into it full bore. So that was it. But, I mean, that's the big thing. So that's what makes me a nerd. And the family knows it. And I am the IT guy for the family.
Whoa, and, so the NES brought you into it, and Halo made you full bore. What happened those 30 years?
Come on. I was ready to go on to your game show.
Okay, no, we're going to go into the...
No.
It's an excellent question. And
Sean's got to go to work.
Sean's got to go to work. Well, I was a single father.
I didn't get a chance to answer this question, so I just was going to take a real quick second to do that.
Oh, that's right.
It's all right. So, real quick, I don't have anybody. Nobody
that's why I didn't ask
about it. But that's not what I wanted to say. I actually had an interview this week for a management position at Cintas, and the manager asked me what my hobbies were, and I gotta be honest, I had to stall for a second before he's looking at me, and I'm going, shit, do I just tell him that I'm a gaming? I guess screw it, I went with it. And believe it or not, I was pleasantly surprised to say that he started talking to me about games when I had said that. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
How about that endowment slider, huh?
No, not about Conan, but yeah, so I was pleasantly surprised. So I think it's done a complete turnaround from when it used to be, if you said you were a gamer or whatnot. So that's all.
Oh, I mean, they say 75 million people have played Fallout and Shelter on their phones.
Gross.
So a lot of people that are into gaming. Now, I don't know if in that interview, Sean, that you would have said, I'm going out of my head right now. I'll get back to you. Maybe you should have just kept it on point in the interview. But that's up to you if you want to role play in your interview or not.
There's the kick in the pants for the other comment I just made. Okay.
All right. Corey, you have go ahead.
Oh, sorry.
No, that's all right.
I fly it, man. Like, I got a fucking Half-Life tattoo on my neck. And I got the PlayStation buttons and WASD on my knuckles. So, like,
Jay's got the
don't
Xbox
hide
tramp
anything.
stamp.
Yeah, Jay has the Xbox tramp stamp.
We've established that on the very
It
early
washed
episodes.
off, though.
It was. You don't remember PAX last year? You were pretty drunk by the end of that night. So, yeah, I have the NES
It's so awesome
controller
if we get Jay
on my
drunk
left.
and get an Xbox tattoo.
I'll try for it. I'll put money. We got to start a Patreon for the Get Jay Drunk Fund.
What were you about to say, Corey?
I was just going to say I have an NES tattoo, like controller tattoo on my forearm. So anytime I'm wearing a T-shirt, it's a flag I fly to. Like it's to any fellow gamers out there, anybody who recognizes it, I'm like, yeah, you're cool. You understand me. And anybody who's like, what the fuck is that? I'm like, okay, so you and I aren't going to have as much to talk about. I understand that.
People ask what that is.
And after podcasting with Jay 190 episodes, I feel like saying to you, does that thing desync every now and then?
I did have a girl. I was at a Starbucks buying a coffee for somebody else. Not a Starbucks guy. Their coffee is terrible. But I was buying one of those, like, I don't know, sugary ice cream things, whatever, for my wife. And there was a girl there making the the barista making the thing, and she had a Super Mario World tattoo on her shoulder, like the sprite. It looked awesome. It was a really cool tattoo. So she's getting that done. I have a T-shirt on, so you can clearly see my NES controller tattoo, and it's only like 3 weeks old, so I'm still super fucking proud of it. And I see that tattoo, and I'm like, oh, that's a really sweet tattoo. I just recently got this, and I show her the NES controller, which is one console before the Super NES, and she was like, oh, that's like a Game Boy or something, right? And I was so fucking upset when I walked out of that Starbucks. I was like, really? It's one console before what your tattoo is from. Like, Giant Tattoo is from. And she did not recognize the NES controller. So it made me feel really old, and it made me feel so angry at Starbucks. So fuck Starbucks.
She probably didn't want to play along with you. She probably just gave you that answer so you'd leave.
Probably. I'm a weird, creepy old man, so...
All right. Well, Jay has just informed me that Skype has bombed out on him and he can no longer hear us. So the dad jokes are going to go in hiding for a little bit. Also means when he comes back, he's going to have no clue what your game is about here, Corey. So why don't you tell us what the game is about, and then we'll go from there.
All right, so what I did is I went onto YouTube and I explored the comment section, which everybody knows is like this toxic cesspool of terribleness. And I found videos essentially titled Why This Console is Better Than This Console. And I delved into those comment sections, which were thousands of comments deep, just flame war after flame war of fanboy against fanboy. So what I'm going to do, I have 10 comments here, just horrific comments said by a particular fanboy. And what you guys have to do is you have to tell me who said this comment. Was it an X-boner? Was it a Sony pony? Was it a Nintendouche? Or was it a PC Master Racer?
No, you just said the words. I knew you were going to say that.
I didn't know what else to call a PC guy, so... Actually, what I'm going to do, I'm not even going to read the comment. I want you guys to read these comments, so I'm going to put them...
Let's hold on. Before we do all that, we got people to play for, right?
Yes.
So we have 4 of us, right? So we need 4 contestants, for one for each of us to play for, minus you, because you're the spiffy game host, correct?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so Jay, are you with us?
I am. I think I am.
All right, pick a number between 1 and 8, please.
7.5.
Motherfucker. You will be hung up on.
All right, drop the half.
All right, you're playing for Bucks. I'm sorry, Bucks. Bucks sugar-free is Jay. That's who you're playing for. Sean, pick a number between 1 and 8 and not be 7 or 7.5.
2.
2. You're playing for DRP 2309S.
I want to apologize now. Okay.
All right. Joe.
Mm-hmm.
Pick a number between 1 and 8, but not be 2 or 7.
8.
You're playing for Mafia Thug.
Sick.
Now, to keep this on the up and up, Corey, you're going to pick a number for me. Between 1 and 8, but not be 2, 7, or 8.
Let's go 1.
All right, I'm playing for Devious Mr. Matt.
Boo.
All right, so apologies to the Elusive Man, Hoosta 30, Latina Mafia, Kel 18. Thanks for throwing your name into the hat, but only 4 people can be picked. You had a 50-50 chance.
Oh, Hooster thinks I'm funny. I like that guy. All right, so what I'm going to do is I hope you guys all have the show planner open right now in front of you, because I'm going to cut and paste one of these comments underneath where it says Corey's game, And you guys are going to take turns reading the comment out loud. And I want some enthusiasm when reading these comments. Anytime a console was mentioned, it just says blank. So you don't know what console they're trashing or saying is awesome. So it just says blank. But who wants to read first? What order do you guys want to go in? And I need someone to keep score because I'm a little drunk.
I can go first and I can keep score.
Why don't we just go with the order that's in the order of our games?
Yep, so that's me.
Okay. All right, so the first one, let me make sure I can still cut and paste. I'm drunk, as I said. Okay, so Mike, you're going first. Here you go.
So let me ask you a question. I'm going to read this and I answer it, or everybody just jumps in, or what?
Everybody gets to give their answer. You can agree with other people. You can not give your, well, you have to give your answer. And if you're right, you get a point. If you're not right, you get no points. Everybody can say the same. Everybody can differ, whatever. But you have to say who this person is a fanboy for.
All right. Fuck blank. You just mad that you rage on games and try putting blank more, you effing bish.
Which is bish is spelled B-I-S-H, by the way.
I'm going to definitely say this is a Sony pony. That's my vote.
Oh, I was totally going to go with Xbox.
All right, so Joe has Xbox. I have Sony. Jay?
Sega Genesis.
Someone kick him off the show.
Hold him
Someone
to it.
do it.
No, hold him to it. Hold him to it. He says Sega Genesis.
All right. Go ahead, Sean.
I'm going to go with Sony on this one.
All right, so we got 2 Sonys, an Xbox, and an NA.
All right, Joe, you said X-Boner, right?
Correctamundo.
You are correct, sir. That is an X-Boner. Very, very angrily yelling about the PS4.
All right.
X-Bish.
So Joe's on the board. All right, question or comment number 2. Who's reading this one?
Joe.
It's got to go Joe.
That's right.
Yeah. All right, Joe, here you go.
Nothing here. Oh, there it is. Blank is better than other console, and it's prove. I'll say that is a Sony fella.
Okay, Jay, you're in.
I'm going to agree with Joe. It's a pony.
All right, Sean.
Oh, man. I'm going to say Xbox.
All right. I'm going to go with Sony as well.
All right. For everybody who said Sony, you are correct. That's a Sony pony.
I scored.
Well, dude, it says right there that it's prove. All right. The third awesome comment by these horrific fanboys on YouTube is up.
This is appropriate for me, seeing as my connection to Skype tonight. Can you hear me? Can you? Hello, fucking dumbass. Why does your parents let you on the internet? Keep doing your job of sucking a dick. Sucky dick wah, XD. I'm going to have to go with the XDs in this. I'm going with the Xbox.
Now remember, it's X-Boner, a Sony pony, a Nintendoosh, or a PC Master Racer. There are the 2 other
Let's not
consoles.
remind them. Come on now.
What was the last one?
They already got the answers.
I'm not saying that has anything to do with the answer. I just want to put that out there.
All right. Oh, go ahead, Sean.
I'm going to go with the X-Boner.
I think it's definitely PC.
I'm going to go with the PC Master Racist as well.
All right.
Answer.
Everybody who said X-Boner, you are correct.
I was right. I'm glad I didn't change.
Okay, so let's give a score update here. Joe has 2, Jay has 2, Sean has 1, and Mike has 1.
All right, so the next horrific comment is go.
All right. Why did the blank cross the road? To render the buildings on the other side. Oh, God. I'm going to say PC Master Race on that one.
I would go say Nintendo.
I'm going to go with PC.
PC Masturbator.
All right, so everybody says PC except Mike. Mike, what did you say again?
Nintendo.
Mike, you're incorrect.
Nintendo.
It's a PC. It's a PC Master Racist right there.
All right. There's a tie between Joe and Jay at 3 apiece. Sean is closing in at 2, and I am in dead last.
All right. The next question or horrific comment is up.
What the fuck does blank have to do with anything? That's not even a blank game. Get with the program, cum cracker.
I had to include it for the cum cracker comment.
I'm going to say that is Sony.
Xbox.
Nintendo.
I'm going to go with Xbox.
Oh, you guys are all wrong. That is another PC master racist right there.
Fuck, that was my other choice.
How many questions we have left here?
We have 10 total. We're about to do number 6. Now, I warn whoever's going to read this. This one includes some racy language that we might not necessarily say, nor do we agree with. So you can skip the word if you like. You'll know the word when you see it.
All right, Joe.
Oh, man. Okay, well, shut your moth, you 8-year-old Blink fanboy. You're a slur. Not going to say it. If you think you playing your shite blank is good and you have a taste of video games, if you play games where you kill people, then you don't have a taste of video games, you 8-year-old slur. I feel like it's an Xbox person talking to a Nintendo player.
I'm going with Nintendo.
Yeah, I'm going with Xbox.
I'm going to say that's a Sony pony to an Xbox.
Ooh, Jay is the only one who's right. All right, so number 7 is up. Whoever is reading that, go for it.
Your mom's pussy is trashy. The PlayStation.
Okay, Sean?
I guess I'll go with Sony pony.
All right, I'm going to say Xbox. Joe?
Xbox. For sure, Xbox. It's got to be Xbox.
All right. Everybody who said Xbox is correct.
Son of a bitch.
Those Xboxers, they go right for the mom's pussy every time.
Yeah, they do. Every time.
So Joe and Jay tied for first place with 4 apiece. Sean and myself tied with 2 apiece.
All right. This next one also has a little bit of racy language. It's up to you whether or not you want to get into it.
Fuck you, dickhead fan guy. If you say anything about me, I will cut your throat off. Suck my dick. Blank is the best.
You'll cut his throat off, not just cut the throat.
I was going to say, how do you cut a throat off?
Right off.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing there. Oh my God. I'm just trying to read these comments.
And how do you suck a dick after you cut their throat off?
Just the tip. Just the tip.
Just a tip. Okay.
So I'm thinking of fan guy. So I'm going to say PC Master Race on this one.
I'm going to say PC as well. Oh, you, Joe?
Xbox.
All right, Jay?
And I am going to say PC Masturbator.
Oh. You guys are all correct. That is...
Incorrect.
That is a Sony fanboy right there. It's a Sony pony.
All right.
Showing his true colors about cutting off throats and so forth.
How many questions we have left? 3?
2 questions left. Just 2.
2 questions left.
What's the score like? Which one of our listeners is winning right now?
Mafia Thug has 4 and Bucks Sugar Free has 4.
Ooh. Neck and neck or cut off throat.
Mother Bucker.
All right, so who's reading next?
Blank equal people whose brain is small as the period. My console equals very smart people. So clearly we're talking this is a Sony here.
All right, he says Sony. What do you guys say?
Nintendo.
Go with Sony on this one.
Xbox.
All right, Sean and Mike, you are correct. That is another...
We needed that. We needed that, Sean.
Son of a bitch, I knew that.
Yeah, we did.
Another pony right there. All right, and the last question. The last question. This one's aggressive.
All right.
Let me.
That's why Joe's reading it.
There you go. All right, I want your aggressive fanboy voice on this one.
You fuck off. I'm a buying it any fucking way. You die, motherfucker.
Have you been drinking?
I mean, yes, but that's just the voice, you know?
Oh, okay. You did it very well. Thank you very much.
Hey, thanks.
All right.
Nintendo.
I'm going to have to go with the same. Nintendo.
Well, I haven't got anything, so I'm going to go with Nintendo too.
So this is interesting. We're all going with Nintendo here.
All right, and you guys are all correct.
Oh, we have a problem now, Corey.
Yeah.
Son of a bitch, really?
Yeah. So me and Sean are out. Sorry, Devious Mr. Matt and DRP.
And I apologize to Bucks for throwing the Genesis in there. I think I fucked us.
Jesus, I did not have a tiebreaker prepared. Does anybody have any ideas for one, or do we have prizes for both of them?
No, I'm not fucking buying gift cards for both of them, no. Let me find something here that I can read. Here is a response.
All right, and you guys, let's just say you guys, who are the people answering right now?
Jay is answering for Bucks, and Joe is answering for Mafia Thug.
All right, so let's say right now, whoever answers first, the other person cannot agree with them.
So this is the statement. Those games have sold shit.
What? That's it?
That's it.
Those games have sold shit?
Xbox. Yes. So we'll go with that.
All right, Bucks sugar-free. Sorry, Mafia Thug. Bucks sugar-free.
Sorry, my dude.
So let's go into what we've been talking about. Let's keep it brief because we've already gone on long enough in some other segments.
No, I prefer boxers.
So, Sean, I might just fucking hang up now.
Yes, sir.
Go for it.
All right. Well, I'm going to make this short and sweet because I've got to write something up. But I have been playing a lot more Conan Exiles. It's gotten somewhat better. Some things have gotten a little worse, but that's to be expected in an early access game because they. Oh, whoa! Easy. As they tweak things to make some things better, something else is going to break. So, but I mean, I'm still enjoying the game. The game is fun to play. They've added they're adding a lot more stuff in. They're adding so you can't build next to NPC spawns because that was a problem, that you're able to build them and then they don't spawn again. So now they've added something in so that it creates a barrier that you can't build around them, stuff like that. But I'll go in more detail. There will be something up because I have a whole bunch of other things, but I don't want to go on about that tonight. And watching The Magicians on Netflix. I just started watching it this weekend, and it's an interesting show. It's I don't know how to explain it, but it's about pretty much it's almost like, and I hate to use this reference, but it's almost like Harry Potter but with college kids. So I'll leave it at that. But it's a decent show. I'm enjoying it. And that's it. That's all I got for this week.
All right, Corey, how about you?
All right, mine is short and sweet as well because I am waiting for the Nintendo Switch, so I'm keeping everything light. Rocket League, anybody else wants to play that on the Xbone, hit me up. Ark, nobody else cares but me and Sean.
Well, I want to talk real quick about Rocket League. Why have you made the decision to abandon Rocket League on the PS4 and play it on the Xbone?
Well, I have my PS4 up in my living room, and it's more comfortable to play games down in the den. So, I struggled for 2 days. I'm like, do I just move my PS4 down to my den, or do I leave it upstairs where it is and just buy Rocket League on the Xbone? But I have, 4 or 5 friends who only have an Xbone. They don't have a PS4 who were interested in playing Rocket League. So that's primarily why I did it. So I could do it with a new group of friends to get them into it. And also, I got Rocket League for free on the PS4. So I've only actually paid for it once by buying it on the Xbone, but I did have to get the DeLorean. I have to get that. As we went over it, I am a Back to the Future nerd, so I had to buy that as well. So it only cost me $17 counting the DeLorean. So fuck it.
And you were happy to give them that money, right?
Exactly.
So do you feel your PS4 is going to be neglected going forward? I mean, how do you remedy this situation?
It will be neglected for a while because my, the Switch is coming out on Friday. If I had been getting Horizon Zero Dawn, of course, I'd be playing my PS4. But just unfortunate timing right now. So, yeah, it's going to be neglected for a little while. Aside from Netflix, watched a lot of Netflix on the PS4 and Dark Souls 3. I am occasionally playing Dark Souls 3 still up there. So it's not totally neglected.
How did you make the decision which one to put where?
Well, I've switched them back and forth a few times. It's just pretty much whichever game I'm playing most at the time. If I'm really invested in a game on a particular console, I'll put that down in my den. But I started playing a lot of Ark, and that's what made me go with the Xbone downstairs. So, it'll probably will change when I start playing Horizon Zero Dawn. I'll probably switch them.
All right, keep going.
Aside from that, the only other thing I want to mention is if anybody is remotely interested or remembers the O.J. Simpson trial, I highly recommend the miniseries on Netflix, The People versus O.J. Simpson. It's incredibly good, especially if you have any memories of that trial. It's like surprisingly awesome. A lot of big name actors in it that I did not expect. So that's it for me.
I just won an Oscar tonight too.
Did it really? Yeah. Oh yeah, it is Oscar night. I forgot about that. Yeah, it's so fucking good.
And people rave about that show.
Yeah, I mean John Travolta as Shapiro. Robert Shapiro, and there's just so many big name actors in it. The guy's name playing OJ escapes me right now.
And that's on what?
That's on Netflix.
Netflix.
Yes. Cuba Gooding Jr. Cuba Gooding Jr. is as OJ, and it's very, very good.
Cool. All right, Jay.
I've been playing more Sniper Elite 4, of course. Really enjoying that. Me and Mike played some of the Overwatch co-op, where it was kind of the same thing as last time when I played. I was up top and Mike is down low. So when Mike talks about what he played, he can probably talk about it more because he was down on the lower side playing, which I have not done yet in that part of it. So, and then the other thing I've been playing is Ghost Recon Wildlands Beta, which has now done a 180 on me, and I am interested in picking this game up. But with everything else that's coming out, I will probably wait for a price drop on this. And it's got some bugs in it, but it's still fun to play. It's kind of it's not super hard to play. I mean, you don't have to, really pay attention to all your upgrades and everything like that, but they are there kind of as loot. So it is a pretty decent game, but it is buggy. But I think the bugs kind of add a personality to it. So enjoying that. So.
Alrighty. I've been playing Ghost Recon as well, and it felt like a game that is very much still in beta. It's got some bugs, like, occasionally I'll be riding along in a car, and I'll look over, and Matt could be on top of the car, or vice versa, or a helicopter, or whatever. So it's got a lot of glitches with characters and stuff like that. And so it surprises me that it's in that state a little bit. I mean, considering that the release schedule is so quickly, it's coming up on the 7th of March. So maybe we were playing an old build and this is a day one patch and they got it fixed. But it is a lot of fun in co-op.
I hope that's the case.
Yeah. I think it's going to be a lot of fun in co-op. I'm a little worried for you, Jay. I know it makes sense to wait for a price drop on some of these things. I just wonder if people will be playing it when it gets a price drop. I mean, if it's a price drop in late March, then you're okay. If it's not a price drop until mid-April, then people could have moved on. We don't know what type of traction this type of game will get. We'll see how that plays out. But for me,
and I can base it off how many people are out playing too, so that's part of it.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it was a lot of fun. We had a lot of laughs. I haven't heard Matt laugh like that in a long time. So,
oh man, yeah.
So it was definitely enjoyable. It's not as realistic as I would think. If you think of a Ghost Recon game, it is very forgiving in some aspects, particularly the driving. So don't want to beat that up too much, but it was a lot of fun. Next, For Honor. I'm still playing some of that. Played with some of the Discord people the other day, and it's one of those games now that it's been out for a while and you play the multiplayer with actual humans. You can see that the people that are really skilled at these games have leaped you by head and shoulders, skill-wise. The boys and men have been separated here, and so I'm dying a lot when I'm playing against other humans, but there's still a lot of ways you can play this game, especially against AI, so there's still a lot of things you can still do and still enjoying it. I did not know that story mode was the co-op. I didn't know you could do that. I saw Eric from Everyday Gamers posted that on Twitter earlier today, and then when I played some story mode later today, that was an option. So I was unaware of that, but I am in the second chapter now where I'm playing the Vikings instead of the Knights, and I am not The story is still incredibly good, but just I'm not a big fan of the fighting style of the Vikings. I like a quick attack. I don't like these guys with the one-handed, big axe that you got to wind up and hit people with. It's just not my fighting style. So I am getting my way through that chapter, but not enjoying it as much as the Knights. So eager still to see where this plays out. And had a productive afternoon as well because I fired up Sniper Elite 4 and I finished the second mission where you meet up with that angel girl. And now getting ready to start mission 3. Still enjoyable and nothing new really to report beyond that. And lastly,
did you have any issues with the bridge?
I didn't have a bridge. I don't know what you guys are talking about. Did I not do something right?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking the wrong one, but
I didn't have a mission.
One.
I didn't have a bridge in the second one. Maybe that was a side piece to it. I saw the bridge, but I didn't have to blow it up. I went through the center of town. You went to the graveyard, and then there was you had to meet up with that angel girl.
Right.
And I met up with her, but I was thinking that as I was playing it, I was like, I saw a bridge, and I was like, maybe that's what Goalie's talking about. But I never had to blow anything up.
Yeah, I think that was a side thing.
I blew up the entrance to get into the graveyard, into the tomb and everything like that. But I didn't blow up any bridges. And then Lego Dimensions, we picked up the Lego Batman DLC this week. And that is not a game that is very easy to play. You have to be very in tuned with that pad there and always be maneuvering stuff around, and I still maintain that might be a little bit too advanced for some kids because it took me a while to get through that first mission. Let's see, notable releases of the week. Obviously, we've talked about all of them: Horizon Zero Dawn, Nintendo Switch, and Zelda Breath of the Wild. I feel bad if anything else is coming out this week.
Now let's get a head count. Who's getting what as far as this goes? Because I'm definitely getting the Nintendo Switch and Breath of the Wild. What about everybody else?
Well, Sean's getting nothing.
Well, I'm getting nothing, so we're good there.
And Joe's getting nothing. So, Jay, what are you getting? Anything?
Zero Dawn.
You already pre-ordered it?
I will. As soon as we're done here, should get it.
All right. I have triple dipping.
That's what I assumed. I assumed you were going all the way.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to get the Switch, what else am I going to do with it?
True.
Try to get Zelda.
There was a game that was supposed to come out to day one, and they one of the indie games, and they pushed it out. The one where you kind of play as what's the P monster one?
Binding of Isaac.
Yeah, I think that one. Did that one get pushed out? Do you know?
I have no idea. I don't care.
I don't know about Binding of Isaac. I'm pretty sure Shovel Knight is a launch title now too.
Yeah, they're all going to be available in the store as well.
And don't forget about 1-2 Switch.
That's right. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. We'll see. I mean, hopefully I can bounce in between the two, but I'm hearing Horizon is really excellent, so
yeah, it's got some great reviews.
We'll see what happens. Let's finish this up with just some quick news stories here. We just have a handful at most. For the Final Fantasy people, Final Fantasy 15, the episode Gladius DLC got some new info and standalone pricing. If you have the Seasons Pass, which is $25, it will be included in that. Otherwise, you can purchase it separately for $5. Has anybody here played this game at all?
I wish I could speak for Final Fantasy, but no, not me.
No, it's really not my kind of game. I've watched Jeremy play it, but that's about it.
So I'm not sure if this DLC is worth the $5 on its own or not, but there it is for people that are interested. I don't see a date in this article of when it's going to be coming out. Maybe that's coming later. That game did just get a PS4 Pro update as well, and I believe it's got a couple different settings in there that you can choose from. Moving on to the PlayStation VR, they say it's selling better than expected, but still has not sold 1 million units yet. It has sold a little over 900,000, and they said they expect to sell 1 million units by the end of the fiscal year. And they said this is exceeding their expectations, if you can believe that.
What were their expectations? Were their expectations really low then?
Well, I mean, if you think about the other people, the other headsets haven't sold that many.
Yeah, I mean, the last article I read about this, none of the VR sets were performing as expected. Like they're all performing pretty low, but as far as numbers goes, PSVR was in the lead, but it wasn't. These were all quite low numbers. So I'm wondering if A, this is just a bullshit lie, or B, did they expect it to do really badly at first? I don't know.
Well, I think it takes a lot of convincing, right? I think this is sort of ties into the talk that we had earlier about geeks, nerds, and dorks. I think for people that are into VR, you got to certainly be one of those, and maybe in the more extreme case, the more extreme end of things. And I think the numbers pan that out for the sales overall. I think it's a niche product. And I think, especially with the shortages they've had with the screens and things like that, it seems to make sense. I don't see it anywhere. I've seen it once.
I've never seen it, and I've looked for it. I've never seen it. It's also a product that, like, unfortunately, you have to use to understand. Like watching a trailer, you don't really grasp the experience at all. So it's a tough sell.
And just the reason I got rid of my Oculus, and you hear it no matter which product anybody's using, whether it's the Vive or Oculus or Sony's product, too much setup time, too many wires, too many things to connect. It's unfortunate the dumbed down one is probably going to be the one that's going to do the best, right? So, we'll see. I'm hoping Glovebox brings his PSVR here and we can play some Resident Evil on that and try that out. But
yeah.
We'll see what happens with that. All you Xbox guys, perk up. The releases, Games with Gold for March has been announced. So Layers of Fear, this is a game that Jay has played, is going to be free for the whole month of March. And then
definitely worth free.
And Jay's second favorite Xbox game of all time, Evolve, is going to be free from March 16th through April 15th. And let's see, for the 360, Borderlands 2 will be free from March 1st through the 15th. And then from March 16th through the 31st is a game called Heavy Weapon, which I never heard of.
I'm confused by this.
Yes.
The 360 game, I'm pretty sure I have Heavy Weapon. I think I bought that back in the day.
Didn't Evolve already go free to play?
Only on PC.
Okay.
And then 2K took that studio off the project, and they never got to implement it into the consoles.
There you go.
There you go. No
Good
longer
answer.
confused.
Good answer.
And the last bit of news here is back to the Switch. We'll end it with this. So if you have multiple consoles like I do here in the house, I can have the same game on the system. But that is not the case with Nintendo and the Switch. You cannot have the same game. Download content cannot exist on multiple consoles simultaneously. So, I'm not sure how big of an issue that is right off the bat, but I guess it's if you go to your friend's house, right? And you log into your friend's Nintendo Switch, you can't access that downloaded game because it's on your one at home. I guess is the biggest issue that I could think of besides people that want to have multiple Switches in their house.
Yeah, like you said, I mean, I'm not going to run into this issue because I only have one of each console, but Nintendo is just starting to get the hang of having everything you've purchased be locked to your ID instead of a console unit. Like they're just now rolling around to that. And B, if you go to your friend's house, aren't you going to bring your own Switch? Isn't that what they're advertising? Like this is the console you can just pick up and bring everywhere. So
right.
I mean, it doesn't surprise me, and it doesn't affect me in any way. If it does affect anybody in any way, like if this is a thing that just made you cancel your pre-order, like I'd like to hear from you. I'd want to know why.
Yeah. Talk him off the bridge, Corey. Jay's got something to chime in probably on this. Anything, Jay?
Very little. My connection, unfortunately, is not doing well.
All right. So we'll forget Jay's here for the rest of the show. Thanks for coming on, though, Jay. All right, well, it's the end of the show anyway, so it's time to get some plugs in and then end this bad boy. You want to go ahead, Corey?
Sure, you can follow me on Twitter at Catwood. Follow Gamers in Beta on Twitter. I'm sure you probably already do. Or you can join us in our Discord chat, which is really starting to pick up now. It's where we have a lot of community interaction with. It's a lot of fun lately. A lot of new people are joining, so you can check that out. Follow Bago Games on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram because I'm their social media coordinator. And it makes me seem cool if we get more followers. And we're doing a lot of giveaways lately, so I would recommend checking that out. As far as personal plugs go, keep an eye out for us as far as PAX goes. We're going to have a lot of PAX coverage. I got another editor joining me who lives in the Boston area. Chris Souza is going to be there. We're going to be doing a lot more video stuff this year. So hopefully we'll have video interviews. We're going to have funny interviews with cosplayers and so forth. So check that out, and that's it for me for plugs.
All right, Sean.
I just want to shout out the other podcast that I'm on, which is the Rated Arc podcast, where we talk all about Arc, and it's with a good community. It's a CRR gaming group, Cross Realm Rebellion. I just wanted to give them a shout out because they're a great group of people, and I can talk Arc without having to worry about boring anybody.
All right, should we try Jay?
Just want to give we got that countdown to 200. 200 is T-9 to go. And thanks to Mike for putting up with my wise ass tonight, even with my connection issues. Sometimes I'm trying to fill in here because I'm not getting all of the conversations because Skype fucking sucks. So we'll go with that. And thanks to all the people on Discord. Really appreciate that. And all the listeners that subscribe and listen to us. We greatly appreciate you.
Nice. All right. Let's give a shout out to Judge Wapner. He passed away today at the age of 97. Remember the People's Court?
Did anybody else watch that a lot as a kid? I remember going on I remember riding my bus to school and playing People's Court on the bus because we used to watch that shit. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
Dun 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 dun. Yep.
And then whatchamacallit? Bill Paxton. Can we get some of those sound clips, Core, to end this with?
Yes, you will be missed, Bill.
You're dead meat, Pilgrim.
Unfortunately.
And, shout out to everybody that listens. Shout out to everybody that's on Discord. You make this a lot more fun with the listener participation. And any questions, complaints, you can hit us up on Twitter at GamersInBeta, like Corey said, or you can email us at gamersinbeta@gmail.com. Listen to us on iTunes, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Google Play, and wherever else you can find us. And this has been a mess of a show, 191, and we'll be back with 192 at some point.
I want shout-outs. What the fuck?
Oh, Joe, I forgot you were back. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Joe. See, this is a total mess.
Joe!
Yeah, mess. I would just want to shout out all of the amigos in the Discord. All of the ones specifically all the ones that play Rainbow Six, because I didn't get to talk about my games on this podcast because I had to leave. But I did get to play some Rainbow Six Siege. And it was pretty fucking fun. So there's that. That's my shout out.
All right. Go ahead, Jay.
Well, that should cover us until next time. Same beta time, same beta channel, and as you can see, we're still in beta. See ya!
I got a little dick. It's pathetic.
Now the time has come for leaving, and now we shall return. We were so glad we could make it, but so sad we gotta run. Well, it might be a long time till we raise another glass. You can rest assured that next time we'll have ourselves a laugh. Yeah, we'll have ourselves a laugh. We'll meet again. Don't know where, don't know when. We all had a good time and we're sad to see it end. Good luck be with you. You go your way, I go mine. So
Back to life. Back to reality.
I knew that was coming.
Yes.
Did you just boo me, motherfucker?
I booed going back to life.
Oh, okay.
As far as your singing goes,